Ooh, welcome to the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. I'm Lawrence Presman. Matthew Barnaby is my co-host. He's here right now. He's not wearing a hat, and he has a backdrop that reminds him of his own name. Matthew, welcome to the Blue Line, baby. What's happening?
I'm good. After this, I'm headed to Montreal to play a little poker with some buddies all weekend at the playground. Unbelievable poker stuff. Spot for anyone that loves poker in the Montreal area, Toronto, Ottawa. It's absolutely unbelievable. So I'm excited. I hate your Toronto Maple Leafs, by the way. Talk about another bad beat I had. I had the under 6.5, a meaningless goal with a minute left after your putrid Leafs got destroyed like I told you was going to happen. You're so delusional. It's ridiculous. I hope you're not betting them tonight. Stupid play if you are. You always say, don't bet stupid. Well, you bet stupid last time.
I didn't bet the Leafs.
Oh, okay.
Not in the last game. No. Making stuff up, Matthew Barnaby. So this show is live. I want to welcome everybody into the chat room. Thanks for joining us. Carmine Bianco will be joining us, and Andy Lang, but we also will be speaking to Derek Roy, who played in the NHL for a million years, and Al Iafrate. Al Iafrate was a person that I was obsessed with in my
both great dudes. Both guys I didn't even know. Derek played in Buffalo after I did. I met him a couple years ago. We have the same birthday, May 4th. He's 10 years younger, so he's 42. Unbelievable guy, great player, and Big Al is just an awesome dude, man. You're gonna love talking. He's old school as it gets, and just a great human being.
So, guys, there's two games we're going to talk about. The first one goes tonight. It's Florida against Toronto. The next one is tomorrow, and that's Winnipeg against Dallas. Those are the last two games available to us. We will take a gander at some future bets, but first and foremost, we're going to bring in Carmine Bianco. We're going to get his thoughts and opinions on both hockey games tomorrow. After him will be Derek Roy, and then Al Iafrate. We're going to end the show with Andy Lang. If you guys have any questions for anybody on this panel, feel free to put them up in the chat room. We will answer them. Carmine, welcome, my friend. How are you?
I'm great. I had a good night last night, Winnipeg and the under in the Carolina game, so I was pretty happy about those two, and I had the Canes to win the series minus 1.5 games plus money. So I was happy that series is now over. Didn't go to overtime. So, but we get some more hockey because Winnipeg won. So that's great. Now we need the Leafs to win tonight. Matt's already shaking his head. He's like, "There's no way the Leafs are winning tonight."
No chance. But don't you agree, Carmen? Like I follow all your stuff and love what you do. Don't you guys think playoff hockey is so much easier to bet than regular season?
No.
Easier.
Yes.
Way easier.
Yes.
Way
So
easier.
I'm having a monster playoffs, Matthew. My clients I'm 17-8 in my actual bets in the playoffs.
That's what I said. Are you listening to me? Are you listening?
But that's only 1 year.
But I just think when you look, you're able to see a trend quickly in how a series is going. Like Winnipeg was not losing last night at home.
I was on them as well.
The under in that series looks like that's it. You look at Carolina. Carolina was not losing that series. So if you just kept betting Carolina, you're making money. If you keep taking the unders in that series, you're making money. You can see how the games are playing out. The West predominantly is a little quicker and there's more goals, but Washington's not scoring on Carolina. They can't even keep up with them. So I'm with Carmine, and you're on a roll. But I think playoffs are way easier than regular season.
So I don't, and I'll tell you why. And everybody does attack these games differently. We have an incredible handicapper on our website, one of the co-founders of WagerTalk named Marco D'Angelo, and he likes to play situations like sandwich games and whatnot. For me, the way I like to bet the NHL is from an emotional perspective. What is the emotions of the players at the time? And in the playoffs, the baseline emotion is already intense and high. So I can't find those spots where great teams lose to shit teams because they're in the middle of a sandwich situation, or where teams are on, 3 games in 5 nights and their legs are tired while their opponent has sat for 4 days waiting for them to come in. The travel schedule. There's all of these variables that I think really help in the regular season that are tough in the playoffs. So also with goalies, we don't have backup goalies. We don't have back-to-back games against, back-to-back travel days. So those specific circumstances are what help my personal bets. But I understand
they're all very valid points. Very valid points.
Excellent stuff. Carb Derek is in, but he will wait for you, bro. So what do you like in the NHL? And then you can tell everybody later today that Derek Roy waited for you.
I appreciate Derek waiting anytime. You guys know I'm a Sabres fan, so I love these guys, Derek Roy, Matt Barnaby. So only if we could put up that video clip that you guys posted in the Slack, which is a great.
Oh yeah, we got to put it up.
But with that said, Lawrence, one of the things, I'm looking at. Obviously, that was a disappointing game for the Leafs. They never showed up in that game against Florida, and I think a lot of people were on the under. So I think it was a bad beat because the Leafs just sort of fell apart and let Florida take advantage of them. But you look at this series as a whole, which I think you have to look at it through 5 games. The Leafs have generated 14.52 of XG. They've scored 14 goals. So they're pretty much doing what they're supposed to be doing from an offensive point of view. It's defensively where they've allowed 20 goals. Florida's XG is only like 17.23. So Florida's about 3 goals above expectancy. And that has a lot to do with the fact that it's not Stolarz in net. It is Joseph Woll. He's 25th amongst 27 goalies in the playoffs as far as goals saved above expected. Minus 2.7. He's allowed 18 goals on only 15.28 of XG. He's not playing well, but we can't always put the focus on the goalie. You have to put the focus on the team in front of them, and the Leafs haven't played well defensively. Yeah. They allow Florida to cycle that puck in the offensive zone, quick puck recoveries as well, too. And this is what was the Leafs' downfall. If you're looking for, can the Leafs win tonight? On any given night, any team can win. I think if you're looking at it for what can I play in this game that has a shot to win, it's likely the Leafs' first period, because if the Leafs can't win the first period tonight and Florida has the lead, the series is over. The Leafs are not coming back to win this series. Leafs 11 games in the playoffs. After 20 minutes, 5 wins, or they led 5 times, trailed 3 times, and they've been tied 3 times. 2-2-1 this series, and they're plus 150 because everyone expects Florida to win tonight. So you're getting plus 150 on the Leafs in the first period. Again, if they're going to extend this to 7 games or have a chance to win tonight, they got to win that first period. If they don't do that, they are toast. So that's where I would look at it. I just can't take the Leafs full game because I think over 60 minutes, Florida is the much better team in this series and on the ice tonight. But in the first period, who knows? Off of that embarrassing 6-1 loss, if there's any pride in that dressing room, they have to see what the fans did in tossing those jerseys on the ice and booing them and leaving early, and show some spine tonight in the first 20 minutes, Prez.
Carm, I'll tell you, I had tickets to go to that game, and talk about leaving early. I gave my tickets away. I wouldn't even go.
Really quick, guys. This is Toronto's 2 worst games of the year back to back. Like, they were terrible in Game 4. Joseph Woll stood on his head, or that's a 5-1 game. Not great in Game 5. Is this the biggest collapse of this team?
Oh hell no, dude! This is our specialty.
But
We do
this
this.
this is the best
We
team probably in the last 10 years with
yeah.
the
Well,
most excitement.
we were up. We were up 3-1 against Boston and 4-1 in Game 7, and we still
And you lost to Montreal. Like
yeah.
this is
And Columbus.
the only thing that makes it easier is maybe you can walk away from Marner and his 14 million, and then you can match the offer sheet when Montreal or someone offers 9 million to Matthew Nyes.
Well, the way I look at it, really simple, is the faster the Leafs are out, the faster I can get back to having a sex life. Carmine, what do you like in Dallas and Winnipeg?
Okay, so two thoughts in this one, Prez, and this is going to be, and I have a question which I will end the show with, and I'd like this is for both Matthew and Derek, who's in the studio waiting to come on. But I'm going to talk about this game here. This is one of the ones where you look at as far as Hellebuck. Hellebuck has been miserable in the playoffs on the road, but they're 0-6 on the road in the playoffs. This is a team that won 26 road games, which is the most amongst all NHL teams during the regular season. So can they win on the road? Of course they can. In April, they came into Dallas towards the end of the season and beat them 4-0. You look at Hellebuck; he was good in Game 4. The team just couldn't score any goals for him. Jake Ottinger stood on his head.
Yeah.
Game 5 at home in front of his home crowd, where he's played well, gets the shutout. Is he building a little bit of momentum? Well, he's 27th among 27 goalies in the playoffs for goal expectancy at minus 6.8, or sorry, goals saved above expectancy. He's allowed 7 more goals than the expected number.
Right.
But if there's a positive sign, the last 2 games plus 2.69, he has looked good the last couple of games. They need to play the same type of game that they played on home ice, on the road. Can they do it? They did it during the regular season. I can't see why they do it in here. I've been watching the live line since last night. Money coming in early on Dallas, but this morning, money's been coming in on Winnipeg. Jets plus 130. They have a shot to bring this back home and win in 7. It's tough because this is a very good Dallas team. So I'm going to take the Jets in a bit of an upset in game 6, and I'm going to throw out this question and then sign off. And this is to Matt and then Derek. You guys played in the dressing room. Was there ever in a series where you guys are in a series coasting along, or your thought process, let's not poke the bear, let's not wake this team up. We're in total control of this series. Jamie Benn with that punch at the end, taking liberties, Dallas at the end of that game. Does that wake up Winnipeg? Is that something you guys actually think about? I'll let you answer that, and I'm going to take off. Good being with you guys.
Thanks.
Right, cheers. Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, we always talk about, especially when you're in full control. Having said that, I think you have to know the DNA of your team, right? Are you a team that can handle that kind of series, the physical nature? And the answer with Dallas is yes. They're not afraid of Winnipeg. Now, Winnipeg, we saw against St. Louis, they matched St. Louis through everything they could at them, and they matched it. You're cognizant enough to not want to wake up the bear, but also if it's in your DNA, it also drags everyone into the fight. We know this is a different beast. Playoffs are a different beast. People are talking about suspension for Jamie Benn. It's a punch. Come on, let's not be ridiculous. So I love that he did it. I love that's playoff hockey. There's nothing. I've said this over and over. You watch Game 30 of the NHL, and you watch Game 2 of the NHL playoffs. It's like it's 2 different sports that you've never seen before. NFL, we all love. NBA, Game 35 or NFL Game 7 versus the Super Bowl, you can't tell the difference. It's the same game. NHL playoffs is completely different. So this is just a guy that is competing, and I love Jamie Benn. Mark Scheifele is one of my favorite 2-way centers in the league. Long-winded answer. Yes, you're cognizant. At the same time, listen, his team, he's just battling, and he's bringing his team into this fight. I don't think Dallas loses at home. I think the number's too big. I'm sticking around with my original series bet. I got Dallas.
Matthew Barnaby, Lawrence Presman, you're watching the Blue Line. Normally, puck time goes now. We just combine puck time and the Blue Line on Fridays and do a live show. And we are lucky and thrilled to have Derek Roy joining us. And Derek, my apologies for it being 11:17, but you look happy. I'm feeling like Muskoka.
Yeah, this is great. Thanks for having me on, guys. No, we're actually heading to Thousand Islands.
Beautiful.
My mom's originally from Gananoque, beside Kingston. So, they retired. They live up there now, and we got a full-time babysitter at the cottage now, so it's great.
Yeah, how old are your children?
We got a 5-year-old boy who just started hockey this year, so pray for me because I'm in Toronto. It's gonna be it's gonna be crazy over the years, but I got that and a 1-year-old girl. So
beautiful.
GTHL, baby. GTHL.
Yeah, exactly.
Prez, I was telling you, I think I sent you a text just how good a guy. We never knew each other. We played in Buffalo for many years. Obviously, I'm 10 years older than Derek. Good looking motherfucker, by the way. Look, handsome devil. But we've just gotten to know each other the last couple of years. Great dude, great player, very articulate. So I'm excited to have him on.
Yeah, so now he's licked your ass, Derek. I
appreciate that.
I just want to point out before Iafrate logs on and hears this, it has turned out that all of Matthew's friends have great hair. All of them, except Iafrate.
Yeah, no.
I wanted to throw that out there. Derek,
I got lucky. Both my brothers are bald, and I'm a middle child, so somehow I squeaked in there with hair.
I hope your boy likes Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol, yeah. No, he's more into now he's more into like Avengers and stuff like that. He's action figures and cars, and hockey. He loves hockey.
My family owns Paw Patrol. How crazy is
nice.
that? Huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Derek Roy joining us. Derek, we got 2 games going on, one tonight. Everybody likes to piss on the Leafs, and I get it. I bleed blue. It's a shame. I can't help it. There's nothing I can do about it. I have seen people. I have met with psychiatrists, psychologists. I try to get high before the games. Nothing seems to work.
It's like a circumcision without Novocaine being a Leafs fan.
Yeah, it's just constant circumcisions. Correct. Yeah. Anyway, at this point, I'm down to a eunuch. Do they have a chance tonight at plus 200?
Not if they put up that same effort they did the other night. I think that was pretty lame, considering you're at home, Game 5, in front of your own fans. The building seemed very hype at the start of the game. They just came out with no jam, and I felt like the first 2 games, they took control of the games. They came out with jam, speed. They didn't let Florida get under the skin. Even though Florida was trying to finish every check, they just played through it. Their game is not built on banging around guys and trying to, jam pucks like in and out. Like their game is played on skill and speed. So it's more stick to your game plan, stick to what you do, and the guys that go out and crash and bang, let those guys do it. The guys that they're skilled and shoot pucks and score goals, that's your job. Your job's not. I mean, you're gonna finish your checks and do the little things in the playoffs, but at the same time, your job is still to score goals.
Derek, I'm glad you brought that up because you were a skill guy. You've had many long runs in Stanley Cup playoffs. The DNA of the 2 teams are totally different. Florida's listen. They were still banging when it was 5-0. They were coming after Toronto. Why 2 of the worst games did we see? Because without Joseph Wall in Game 4, they probably lose 6-1 again. How do you explain a team being so good in games 1 and 2, and their DNA is a skilled team, good power play, a deeper team, better defensively, and then lay 2 eggs back to back? I think they have no chance of beating Florida tonight. But
I just think their feet weren't moving. When you're on your toes and you get your feet moving, then the plays start opening up. You start skating. I think Marner was kind of gliding around. Matthews was kind of gliding around, and it seemed like guys were circling away from the puck, circling in the defensive zone. There was like that one goal, Matthews turned it over a couple times, but before that, he whacked the puck out of the air, circled away from it, went, tried to body check the guy with his butt. You know what I mean? There was no urgency in that play, which tells me that either he's hurt or either some guys are just banged up or Florida's just been laying the boom on these guys and it's taking a toll on them.
Everyone. Derek, what do you think the score will be when all said and done tonight?
I live in Toronto, so I gotta be. I think 3-2 Florida. That's my.
I have
So
4-2 Florida. 4-2 Florida.
So Derek likes under 5.5. Matthew likes over 5.5. Derek, what about this Winnipeg game? We saw a great response from Connor Hellebuck. They played outstanding. It was probably their best game of the playoffs, really. Just an all-around excellent game by Winnipeg. Now they're on the road. They're plus 130 against this Dallas team in a total of 5.5. What do you think the score will be in this game? How would you bet it?
Well, before I say the score, this is what the Leafs should do. They should have played like Winnipeg came out in the last game. Winnipeg came out, they skated, and Dallas had a hard time keeping up. They skated, they put the pressure on, they threw pucks to the net, they drove the net. I think that's the way the Leafs should play. Don't play to their game. Don't try to finish checks. Dallas is a big, strong team that finishes checks. Winnipeg just said, screw this. We're going to play our game, and we're going to play it hard, and you guys try to keep up with us, and they couldn't. And it just I think they could have had maybe like 3-4 goals in the first 5 minutes. They were buzzing early on. So I think if Winnipeg comes out like that, they win the game again. But I have a hard time going against Dallas because I had Dallas win the cup. So I think Dallas wins this one. Probably around the same, but I'll throw an empty netter in for 4-2.
There we go. Matthew, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I love Dallas, one of my favorite states and cities, and Derek played there. I was there. Absolutely love the Dallas Stars. I wanted to ask him because I have 4-2 Dallas as well. I think they'll be tough to beat at home. I think they're the best team left. I had Colorado beating them in round one, but I said whoever wins this series, I think wins the cup because I thought they were the two best teams going in, and it was unfortunate that they had to play each other in the first round. Like they both had additions. Obviously, you get Robertson back, who hasn't been great, but you got Miro Heiskanen that just came back, a little shaky in game one, but he's only gonna get better. I wanted to ask Derek, do you see a big difference in? Obviously, we played on the road 41 games during the regular season. I don't think it's a big deal to play on the road in the regular season. You just chalk it up. You go to work, you do it. I love playing on the road in the playoffs because I love being hated. But do you think there's a big difference and a big advantage playing at home? Because it's obviously the only sport where now you get your matchups and the crowds are so electric. Like it's a completely different sport from regular season to playoff hockey. I just think it's such a massive, massive advantage to be at home in the playoffs as opposed to the regular season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you need to be that certain type player, right? Like yourself, that loves being on the road and loves like guys like Marchand and guys that love to be hated. Those are the guys that you want on your team in the playoffs because they don't care. They're going to go out and just do the exact same thing. Maybe even put a little bit more emphasis on punching a guy in the face and getting the crowd riled up because they need that energy. They use it. They feed off of it. So I think, like you said, being on the road and having like crazy fans is such a big advantage for the home team. But at the same time, if you got guys like that on your team that love to rattle and like Florida's just got a bunch of pesky guys out there that just love that to play on the road. So, but in this Dallas series, I think obviously Hellebuck's been struggling on the road, and I don't understand how these numbers are even possible.
Yeah, it
considering
makes
he's
no
a Vezina.
sense.
It doesn't even make it. Yeah, it literally
Doesn't
makes
make
no
any sense.
sense. And you're just you're like one more game. Let's see. He's going to bounce back. But he never does. So I don't know,
Derek,
if he's going to bounce back. I have no idea now.
Derek, what is going on the bench in that situation or behind the scenes? Like Scheifele and Connor and these guys sitting there, Morrissey. I mean, this is one of the strangest
It's
things.
wild.
It's like, imagine if Tom Brady couldn't throw a ball on Mondays. Like,
Yeah.
it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think guys are just trying to play in front of them. You want to make sure that you're giving them shots to the outside. You're taking away second chance opportunities. You're making sure that you stay out of the penalty box. Anything that can help your goalie get some confidence early in the game, get him some easy shots, box out. Like make sure that he's into the game. He feels the puck. He's feeling himself on the road because he needs it. I know
Yeah.
he needs that confidence in him.
He Derek nailed it. It's the first 10 minutes, man. Like when you struggle with, everyone struggles with confidence. I don't care how good you are. I don't care what line of work you're in.
Yeah.
Everyone at some point.
But confidence every second game. You're really confident on Mondays, but you're not confident on Wednesdays.
There's a reason why athletes have psychologists. There's a reason why every golfer has a psychologist. They all can strike the ball 300 and hit wedges to 5 feet. But something happens in between these 2 years.
Yeah.
But also, you ever had a game where, like an arena, where you just showed up the rink and you're going to play well? Like
Absolutely.
yeah. Like
I have that every Tuesday night.
Ottawa, Toronto. Like I love playing in these places because I had family in Ottawa and I knew people in Toronto. They would come to the game and you always get jacked up for the game. And somehow you always play good. The same thing with a golf hole. You've had golf holes where you're like, this golf hole sucks. I can't friggin' par this hole. I don't know what's going on.
Number 2 at the Marshes in Ottawa. Just chalk me up for a double every time because I have it in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. So his mental thing block is from going on the road and playing in front of fans that are hostile.
Prez, there's bars you go into, you just know you're getting a little every bar, Matt. And then there's some bars you're like, there's no chance tonight.
Yeah. So to summarize, Matt's talking about when he goes into gay bars versus straight bars.
It's
Matthew
2025,
Barnaby.
dude. 2025. Yes. Royce, I love you. I'll see you in a few days. Playing golf with him in Calgary in a few days.
Nice.
Thanks for coming on, bud. I love it. Have fun at the cottage.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Derek Roy, everyone. That was awesome. Guys, if you like what you're doing, if you like what you're hearing, hit that like button, please.
Did I tell you, great dude, eh?
Yeah. Well, they're all great dudes. Al Iafrate is joining us. And Al, I got to tell you, man, we've had Jeremy Roenick on the show, Shane Corson, Derek Roy, all of these people, and you are Al frickin' Iafrate, man. I personally am a little starstruck. I'll tell you that right now. I don't forget all those other guys. They did not play on the Leafs. They did not have the fastest shot in hockey. They did not do these end-to-end rushes like you did. Matthew, you might have to take over because, like, I'm a bit verklempt talking to Al. Like, this is.
I thought Al had a do-rag on, but it's just a toque. And fuck, I love Al. I just got to meet him probably around 7-8 years ago. He's the best. Obviously, all-star, great player, but better person. I was texting him on his way because he went to the Leafs game. And Prez is a really massive, moronic Leafs fan, like delusional. What did you see from that last game? Because it was tough to watch, buddy.
Oh boy, I went to it. I got tickets to the game. Went to the game, and it was a tough one for sure. And I just think that Florida, after the first 2 games, figured out that banging and playing on the wall is how to beat the Leafs. And, the Leafs, I guess, tried to play that style from what I saw that night. But when it comes to dumping the puck in, as you know, there's got to be a purpose. And it just seemed like there was always 2 guys on a dump in for Florida. And then the guy on the Leafs, when he would dump the puck in, it would be one guy. And, the players, the defensemen on Florida, they can move the puck, they can make plays. So it's, it's the infamous question: Can Toronto get them into a game where it's going to be line rush after line rush, and that's going to be the way to beat them, or bang it out. And the power play has to come alive because the power play this series is not doing good. It was great against Ottawa.
Yeah.
It's not doing good right now. And, whether it's a penalty kill or a power play, your best guys are on the ice. and it comes down to your best players outplaying their best players. And it happened for 2 games. It hasn't happened for 3 games, but I bet the Leafs today, man.
Wow. So
Wow.
you took at plus 200. You feel like there's a lot of value there?
Yeah, I got a little Canadian money I bought Bitcoin with and got my 40% back. Now I'm going to cash that out, and I laid some money on the Leafs, man. I'm a genius.
Al, Al, you're a unicorn in the way you played and the way you're very talented. Obviously, a massive slap shot, elite skater for your size. I
Oh
mean,
my God.
you're a
My
big
slap
guy.
shot, I just want to put this out there to the viewers. My slap shot was the weakest part of my game.
I love that. I love it. I love it. You're the defensive side to Eric Lindros. Eric could fight. He could bang you. He could destroy you physically. You have both similar body types. You're in a lot better shape than the Big E right now, but that's a story for another day. It looks like Big E ate Brett in the last
but
few years.
he does play a lot of tennis, Eric.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's great. Wow.
he is trying to be
So
athletic.
you eloquently said their power play has to be good. Florida has changed the dynamic of this series and literally dragged them into a bar fight. Punching after the whistle, scuffles, physical play. You bet Toronto, but do you think they have the DNA to play that game on the road tonight when Florida is going to come full throttle? Because they do not want to go back for a game 7 in Toronto. And if they do lose Toronto, is this the worst collapse, or is it just up there with all the other ones?
Well, I mean, I think, we just the way social media is, we live in a world where it's hard to separate people. Me at times, it's hard to separate your imagination from reality. That's, I think, an infamous battle everybody has a challenge with now, with everything that's being pumped into your psyche. And the reality is, when playoff hockey is a dogfight, and that, I know that. Anyone that's ever played this sport, if they don't know it, they should figure it out. But it's an absolute dogfight. And like, like eliminating a team is the hardest thing to do. Like, closing out a series is the hardest thing to do. I've been in 4 or 5 game 7s, and I think all of them were either up 2-zip, down 2-zip, up 3-1, down 3-1, or back in the day when I started, they were best of 5s.
Yeah.
The first round was. So it's the Leafs. The Leafs have to play like this is their last game, because it is. Like, last game they didn't, and Florida did. Florida, the cliche saying, we're playing a lot more desperate than the Leafs, and they were just executing a lot better. They don't lose puck battles on the wall, because inevitably, the regular season is not like the playoffs, and guys make a lot more mistakes, and it is a game of mistakes. And they did not lose very many one-on-one puck battles, because it basically comes down to one-on-one battles all over the ice until you have deductively X'd out 8 of the guys or 9 of the guys,
Right.
and then the puck comes to a guy that's in front of the net. Because make no mistake about it, it doesn't matter whether it's a 3-on-2, a 2-on-1, a scramble in your zone. That puck is always coming towards the front of the net. And as a defenseman, once I figured that out, my game got a lot better. And the Leafs have got to find a way to breach being boxed out from the front of that net, because most of that game, it was a perimeter game. The Leafs would dump the puck and they'd get the puck, and then there would be a wall of big Florida bodies with a great goalie, and they have got to find a way to get that puck to the net and get bodies to the net, because the goalies are so good now. Very rarely, other than the guys that are setting records for goals, which is 2 or 3 guys, very rarely do guys come down the ice and just blow it past the goalie with no one in front of them. That doesn't happen anymore. And if that goalie is letting that happen, he's not a goalie in the NHL anymore. And, the Leafs, people always want to say, I'm not a big fan of the word choking, because like the way I view choking is you have got to heads and tails be the better team and then lose. And up until this point in time, the Leafs are trying to identify and make a stamp that they are a best team. They still haven't proven it. I mean, they've proved that they're a better team, but you wanted to win the Stanley Cup, you've got to be the best team. And looking back at my career, trying to phase it into what's going on now, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to do something that is probably one of the hardest things to do in any sport, is say that you're the best team in the world. And it's not an easy thing to do. That's why the Stanley Cup is, such a coveted trophy.
Al, the only time I miss hockey, I don't miss the regular season, probably because of the way I had to play, and every afternoon might have to fight Craig Berube or Domi or whoever it may be. Man, I miss the playoffs. Every single game, I see the fans outside, I see the towels waving. Do you miss this time of year?
Oh man, it's like I was saying to you when we were in Toronto, what was it, 2 weeks ago? 2 weekends ago. It's the first 2 weeks. The first round of the NHL playoffs are the best TV of the year.
Yeah,
it's like just nonstop hockey, because spring is in the air. People are dressing the way we want to see them dressed, if you know what I'm saying. It's like it's getting warm out, having the hatches batten down through the winters, where I live in the Midwest, where you live, in the areas where it gets really bitter cold for 4 months.
Nothing better when you pull up in April or May. You got your coffee, you got your beige suit on. The girls have the signs up. Big Al, let's go. They got their little halter tops on. Thank God Prez isn't on right now, because I know what he's doing just thinking about this. It's ridiculous. But yeah, this is the best time of year.
Oh, and then I was a lot like you. I like I almost kind of like was a phoenix. I almost was a detriment to myself, in the sense that creating chaos to rise from the ashes of your own self-destruction type of person, and to a lot of coaches, it's just who I am. I mean, I had sports psychologists, but when I got traded to Washington, there was one waiting for me, and then after like the first bus trip, he quit after he got into my mind. He was with me for one trip, and then he quit. But having said that, I loved going into another building. Everyone hates you. If you're hated, that means you're.
Absolutely.
If you're hated, that means you're making a difference, for sure.
It's the greatest compliment when we go to these things, whether it's Toronto or Calgary. They're like, "Fuck, I hated you." I'm like, "Thank you,
Exactly.
thank you. If you liked me, I wasn't doing my job."
Guys, we got it. We got to find out what's going on with the Dallas-Winnipeg game. We still got Andy Lang to come, and we do have a hard stop. But Al, I would love to have you on the show again. Please.
You
are a hero to me. I watched you growing up, and I thought you were a monster. From Ian Turnbull to Al Iafrate to Phaneuf to Riley. None of them have won a cup for me. Who do you think is going to win, my friend, tomorrow between Winnipeg and the Dallas Stars?
I think they're riding the Rantanen horse, and why wouldn't you? I love Canada and I love the Canadian teams, even though I'm living here in the Gulf of America. Just kidding. No, even I live in the States, but the fabric of the sport is Canadian, and there's nothing like going to the Canadian towns and playing hockey. Being a hockey player in a Canadian city it's awesome. But I think Rantanen, he has a chip on his shoulder, and he's already proved he's a champion, but I think he wants to put an exclamation point on it, and that's a tough horse to stop for sure. I could play physical and I was big, but I just know that trying to play against that guy would be brutal. And having said that, the great teams that I was on, some really good teams. I can say I was on some great teams, but I can't say I was on the best team because I never won a cup. But I did play against some teams in the playoffs that were the best team that we lost to, like Pittsburgh when they had their 2 championships. We had a great team in Washington. But I will say this, every single one of those teams that I played against in the playoffs that went on to win a cup, there was always at least 2 guys on the ice that were an absolute nightmare to play against. It was always one of the 2D and always one guy on a line that no matter whether it was the first line, third line, fourth line, first pair of D, second pair of D, third pair of D, there was a guy that was absolutely difficult to play against. And when you have half of the guys on the ice, 2 of the 5, sometimes it would be 3. In New Jersey's case, when I was in Boston and we had a really good team, when Jersey started winning their cups, they would have maybe 3 guys on the ice. They'd have Danico, Stevens, Randy McKay, Bobby Holt. That's skill is skill. Everybody's skilled now. So they're so skilled. That's fine and dandy. You need that because after the deductive breakdown of creating a 1-on-1 against a goalie or a 2-on-1 against a defenseman, and the other 6 or 5 guys are eliminated, or 7 guys, that's where the skill takes over. The great players make the plays where people are like, wow. But to get it to that point, you need the nightmares.
Right.
Yeah.
Al,
I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Is there anything you want to promote while we have you? Because you did give up some time for us today.
I want to promote Craig Berube. I think he's going to get the boys going tonight.
Go, Craig!
Craig, man, great teammate. One of the best teammates I ever had. He's going to do it. He's going to get the boys going. He's going to figure it out.
5-on-5. I gave him a 1 punch in the playoffs. Huh. It didn't even hit him, but he fell. But it looks great on YouTube. And then he comes back out. He's like, "Let's go again." I go, "Never a chance again, buddy. This is on YouTube forever."
Yeah.
Chief's the best. He's awesome.
I had to fight him once. I threw a couple rabbit punches. I was a big, strong guy, so I could tie him up. And he's like, "Take off the seatbelt. Take off the seatbelt." I'm like, I just started laughing. I'm like, "You're the tough guy. Get loose."
Good luck to your Leafs tonight. I love you. I'll see you in about 10 days.
All right, man.
Love you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Al.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. Guys, real quick, we got Andy Lang to come. I'll tell you right now, I like the under in the Leaf game tonight, and I like the under in the Winnipeg-Dallas game tomorrow. That's where I'm going in both games. Matthew, real quick, where are you going in both games?
I'm actually going to go the under in the Leafs game tonight. I have Florida in the series, not touching that. Might actually put a little sprinkle on Florida in regulation. Again, I just think they're the better team. I think they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. Them and Carolina will be a great matchup. 2 completely different teams. I actually have the over in the Dallas game. I think this is like a 3-1, 3-2 game. They pulled a goalie. We could see a couple empty net goals. I think they could pull the goalie with like 4 minutes left. And like Big Al said, the big horse Rantanen could be out there piling up for his Conn Smythe chase.
There we go. Andy Lang joining us. And guys, you can see Andy at 12 o'clock today, 14 minutes from now, live on Wager Talk today. Andy, what prop bets do you have for everybody for the next two games?
Yeah, this one's been hitting a lot, but the line is now minus 178. I'll leave it up to the audience if you guys think it's enough. If it's fine, juice tolerance is good with you guys, go ahead. If not, lay off. But it's Matthew Nyes over 1.5 shots on goal. And Prez, you and I talked about this. He gets a lot of shots close to the net, so he's really efficient. He's gone over this in 8 straight games. The last 3 games, he's not just gone over, he's gone over it big with 3 shots on goal. He's only averaging 3.4 shot attempts, but like we went over, they're just close to the goal. So he's very efficient with those. Take a look at Matthew Tkachuk under 2.5 shots on goal. I was looking up Sam Reinhart's shots on goals number, and now I know why Tkachuk's is going under because Reinhart is shooting the puck. Yeah. But Tkachuk gone under in 8 out of the last 9 games, only had 3, 2, and 4 shot attempts the last 3 games, and that's resulted in 1, 0, and 2 shots on goal. So Chuck just not getting enough shots on goal. And then we just keep playing it. Sing it with me. Hellebuck under his saves. You guys have been talking about the Maple Leafs. We could own the Maple Leafs if we would have figured out this trend early. Under in 10 out of 11 games, under in every game this season. He lets in goals. But then the other night when he saves everything, they only get 22 shots and he goes under by the hook. So take a look at Matthew Nyes over shots on goal. Take a look at Tkachuk under his shots on goal. And we just keep riding the Hellebuck under saves train.
There we go. I'm on Wager Talk today with Andy Lang. Check that out at Wager Talk TV Live. Guys, hit that like button.
Hey, really quickly, love those. Matthew Nyes has been the Leafs' best player. He is built for the playoffs as they go through. We talked about goalie props. 100% with you. I did get a little lucky with the Joseph Wall under saves because he was pulled. So we always talk about our bad beats because I've had so many bad beats lately where you make the right bet, but it just doesn't play out the right way. Thank God they pulled him. Just saved a little bit of money for me because that late Leafs goal it cost me a lot. That was horrible. Putrid.
There we go. So, Matthew, do you have any prop bets?
Hey, what? Do what you're best at. Predict series and listen to the man. I'm jumping on Andy's bets. So, listen, when you have the best, listen to him.
Well, that's the show, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the live edition of the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. Shout out to Derek Roy and Iafrate for coming on today. Really great that we get their time. Matthew, thanks for organizing that. Matthew will be at the Playground Poker Room all weekend signing autographs.
Winning money
And signing autographs. Best poker room on the planet. Matthew, have a killer time. Go Leafs, go. Guys, we'll all see you Monday. We'll talk some future bets as well then. Thanks for watching the Blue Line, and don't you dare bet like an idiot.